and supported over 400 artists. New York Theater Barn is an anti-racist nonprofit theater company that serves as a home for original culture-shifting musicals during incubation. We've been dedicated to incubating new musicals in front of live audiences since 2007. And we also value musical theater as one of the world's supreme healing tools. And we create space for artists to dream about how beautiful and extraordinary the world can be.
Couldn't say any better than that. We are proud to be building community through our storytelling.
So thank you for joining us for tonight's private table reading of Von Beethoven, Compose Yourself. We're thrilled to present the first act of this new work and to lift up the writers, Elijah Lyons and Julian Decker. Elijah Lyons is one of my students at the New York Conservatory for Dramatic Arts. And in my class last semester, I introduced the students to songs from original culture-shifting musicals that New York Theater Barn is incubating. In class, Elijah and the students had the unique opportunity to get to spend time with the material and with some of their writers. They also met professional actors in the industry like Broadway's Ramona Keller. And as you'll see tonight, actors are the artists who bring these rich stories to life during incubation, strengthening their foundation. So the students chose material to work on that they connected with. The body of work chosen created opportunities for artists that tell untold stories about immigration, sexuality, gender, mental illness, gun reform, racial discrimination, and so much more. And then in the middle of class, one of our students, Jasmine Garvin, said, you know, Elijah is like one of these writers. You have to check out this new musical he's working on. And I said, okay, cool. So Elijah presented a song from it and talked to all of us about the show and how inspiring it was. And I said, we have to do a table reading. Let's make it happen. And so that's why we're here. And they've done the work and the team has grown. And you will be the first people ever to experience this new show.
Wow. Well, if I know one thing, it's that these kids are they're very lucky to have you as a teacher, to have someone like that is inspiring them and bringing people like that, like Ramona Keller, into their classroom. So, not to butter you up, Joe, but thank you for doing this, especially during a pandemic and having students inspired in this way. And we're so happy that New York Theater Barn can support the development of young artists like this. We couldn't be any happier. Well, now here to tell us more about tonight's presentation is our director and New York Theater Barn's artistic associate, Pals Max.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to be sharing this bold new work with you. Before we get too far into talking about our process, I'd actually love for the writers to join us to talk a little bit about what moved them about this piece, what drove them to create it. So if we could have a Julian Decker and Elijah Lyons, can you please join us?
Hello.
Hi.
All right, well, I would love it if you could just talk to us a little bit about your process, like what moved you to create this piece?
Well, I'll go first. So as a kid, I always looked up to Beethoven. Like one of the earliest melodies I can remember is the dun 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 dun. I'm sure everybody knows that. It's the fifth. And as I grew older, I joined a Catholic school, and I was one of the only Black students around, and that was difficult for me. But that same year, I learned that there were theories about Beethoven being a person of color. None of it is completely factual, but the theories are there, and that says enough. And that was inspiring enough for me. Ever since then, I've basically told myself that I could be like that. And I've been obsessed with music ever since. I've learned countless instruments. And it all pretty much dates back to the time where I found out Beethoven could have been a person of color. Something that inspires me to write this show, the fact that Ludwig's potential Blackness is brushed off as secondhand to his whiteness. In fact, if you look on websites, it says probably not. That's never sat well with me. And it feels to me as if the possibility of this man being a person of color shouldn't be taken seriously. And that's how it always is. For example, Jesus Christ. And to say that no one has called Ludwig a person of color in his life it's misinformed. His home was called Schwartz Spaniard House, which actually translates to House of the Black Spaniard. And there are plenty of pictures of a young Beethoven with a brown complexion. It's also worthy to note that none of the paintings of Ludwig as an adult look the same. And it seems very much to me that people who tried to prove that he was white also don't know for sure if he was Black. So that basically goes to say that asking if Beethoven was Black is not the wrong question. However, knowing that such a theory exists and not investigating hard enough is the wrong solution. So I find that inserting my own life, my personality into Beethoven and bringing that to life and seeing if this person was a person of color, how would he have lived? That's what I want people to see, and I want people to see that perspective. Yeah. I've said a lot. Also, something else I want to note. Surely, if Beethoven was a person of color living in a dominantly white society, he would have had a different thought process as to when it comes to learning how things come to matter in the world that we and he lived in. I know this because in the years that mattered to me most, I myself struggled to fit in and felt like an outcast, just like you'll learn throughout this reading that Beethoven felt that way as well. At the end of the day, this musical is not to prove that Beethoven was Black. It is to show that the theories of him being Black deserve more than to be brushed off. And on that note, I'm going to pass it to Julian, my writing partner.
That was so well said, Elijah. Good job. So Elijah and I have known each other for about 6 years. We went to the same high school back in our hometown. When he was getting ready to audition for colleges, I happened to be home doing a summer intensive, and he was my intern in exchange for his work with me. I was coaching him for his auditions. And I recognized the brilliance in his musicianship from the very start. It was so clear to me. And over the years, we have kept in contact, and if he writes something new, he sends it my way. He had told me about another musical he was working on all through high school. And so it kind of was a mentorship for quite a while. And once he moved to New York, we became friends. And anything that he shares with me, I take it extremely seriously. I think his views and his opinions really matter. So when he pitched the story, the concept to me, I think it was right before Christmas in December, he played me one song, which is the song that Joe was talking about earlier, and told me about the concept. And it was a no-brainer on my end. I was like, yes, let's use this pandemic, think outside the box, and exercise our creative minds in a different way than just performing. So it started as one song and a concept. Now we have a total of 12 songs done, right? Like written, but you will hear 8 of those tonight. And we have the entirety of Act 1 as it is right in this moment. We've been seriously working on this since the end of January. So now we're in March. It wasn't a ton of time, but we knew we had to do this reading right. And so you will see our cast introduce themselves tonight, all of which most people learned this material last weekend. We did all the recordings this week, and they saw the script for the first time. Read the script for the first time yesterday evening in a rehearsal. That is a new work. Things have shifted and changed. We did a test reading last Friday, and the script had already changed after that go through. So we're really excited. We're so glad that all of you are joining us. And everything Elijah said is exactly how I feel about this story. And as a white man, to be in these conversations, it's a pleasure to be navigating this story because it really does matter. The idea of being whitewashed, the idea of him potentially whitewashing himself. Well, why? Why Beethoven? Why did you do that? It's just, it's an important question. And while, like Elijah said, this is a theory, to me, it makes absolute sense, right? There's not a ton of history about Beethoven's personal life, but what we do know gives us a clear sign that he was half German and half Moor. So that's the story we'll be exploring. Pals, off to you.
All right. Well, I'll just tell everyone who's joined us a little bit about what they'll be seeing tonight. As you've already mentioned, we gathered together as a small group of friends, basically, last Friday night. And since that time, the piece is already undergoing some like really fantastic changes. And then we gathered together as a full cast last night and put together this wild Zoom reading in 3 hours. And so tonight is our very first attempt to run through everything without stopping. Cross your fingers. You know, our purpose here tonight is to, because Julian and Elijah have been only writing for a short time, is to interrogate like what is really at the heart of this piece, and we have an idea of what that should be, but to question, is that really reading in Act 1? And then based on what we've established in Act 1, what answers do we need to come up with in Act 2? Yeah, I just want to say that it's been so inspiring to be able to work with them this last week. You know, it's basically been a 1 year since the shutdown of everything. And to, at this moment, to still be creating this really bold new work is, I'm just very grateful to be part of this process. Before we go too far further, I actually want to do a little presentation, a tech presentation, to help folks view this presentation in the optimal way. So I'm going to share my screen really quick, and we're going to teach everyone how to hide non-video participants in Zoom. So let me get this. And then I'll go here. And I just need to find the present button. All right, so here we go. Look at all these folks who unknowingly joined us for our reading tonight. If you're trying to figure out how to stop sharing non-video participants, basically I put these big arrows here. You go down to your Zoom and you find that arrow. I'll give everyone a moment to find that. And then you click on that. And then the next thing that you'll see is this menu will pop up, and you should click on video settings. Great, giving everyone a second for that. And then a new menu will be created in Zoom settings. You'll go to this page where there's you'll be in the video tab, and you'll go down here to hide non-video participants. And when you're able to do that, actors will be able to basically exit and enter your Zoom screen when they turn their camera on and off. So that's why we designed the reading this way. All right. Without further ado, I would love it if the actors would turn on their Zoom screens, and I'm going to have them introduce themselves to you and say who they're playing for tonight's reading. So Ian, if you want to go ahead and start us off.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everybody. I'm Ian Brady, and tonight I will be playing the Courtship Master, and I'm going to pass it to Aloysius.
Hi, I'm Aloysius Geigel, and I'm playing Johann, and I will pass it to Ashley.
Thanks. Hi, I'm Ashley Blanchett. I'll be playing Maria, and I'm going to pass it to Samantha.
Hello, I'm Samantha Fierro, and I will be playing Meg, and I will pass it to Shay Z.
Hi, I'm Shay Z, and I will be playing George tonight. And I will pass it to Jasmine Garvin.
Hi, my name is Jasmine. I'll be playing Mrs. Schneider, and I'm going to pass it to Emily Fink.
Hi, everyone. I'm Emily Fink. I'll be playing the stage manager, and I will gladly pass it to Jenny Millay.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jenny Millay, and I will be playing a citizen and also Abigail's mother. and I will be passing it off to Nicholas.
Hello, I'm Nicholas LaRussa. I am in the ensemble, and I'll be passing it to Cottrell.
Hi, I'm Cottrell. I will be playing a rhythm and Mr. Schneider, and I will pass it to Sydney.
Hi, I'm Sydney. I will be playing Abigail, and I will be passing it to Kimberly.
Hi, I'm Kimberly. I'll be reading stage directions, and I will pass it to Alex.
Hi, I'm Alex Stone. I will be playing a rhythm and a courier, and I will pass it to Marissa.
Hey, I'm Marissa. I'll be in the ensemble, and I'm passing it to Emily Royer.
Hi, I'm Emily. I'm a melody, and I'll be passing it to Tamar.
Hey, I'm Tamar Green. I'm playing Beethoven, and I will pass it to Delaney.
Hi, I'm Delaney, and I'll be passing it to Christian. I'm in the ensemble.
Hi, I'm Christian. I am a melody, and I will be passing it to somebody. Is there anybody else?
If you haven't gone, raise your hand and help Christian.
No, I'm just the final act here. So
Perfect. And thank you, actors, for sharing your time. It's been very exciting to work with you. Okay, so let's get started. The last thing I'll say to the audience is we are so excited to hear your feedback and your reactions to the piece. I'm going to put it in the chat right now, but that's the feedback email where you can send us your thoughts. Don't worry about it if other chats happen, because at the end of the piece, there will be, we'll project that email address, but you're the most important ingredient at this point because we're so excited to hear your thoughts and reactions. All right, actors, if you could go ahead and turn off your screens. And without further ado, we are so excited to present Von Beethoven, Compose Yourself by Elijah Lyons and Julian Decker.
Act 1. A man, Ludwig von Beethoven, in silhouette, examines a piano. He lifts the lid and places it on the lid prop. Taking his time, he sits and lifts the keyboard lid and feels the keys under his fingers. Then, in a sudden burst of passion, he aggressively strikes a C minor chord. Song 1, The Mystery of Beethoven. Another man, George Bridgetower, appears and looks out to the audience.
Let this be a story of truth, of tragedy resting in music. Music of life and musical delusion. Music, Ludwig Beethoven, must see his mysterious history. Music, history. Music, who is he? A victim of brilliance, cause of the time it led to demise. Afraid of his looks, he preferred to disguise. Ludwig Beethoven. Who are we? We are the music. We are his rhythm. We are the true, the undeviated result of the drama. Maybe the story lay in the sonatas. Soon you will see his transcendent melody sing of a story which gets to be told. Ludwig Beethoven, the man and his mystery. Ludwig Beethoven, the man history. Ludwig Beethoven.
Son of a broken man, broke his son's heart again and again. Drinks till he drowns the sod of the town. His name was Johann Beethoven.
As you all know, we all need someone to see our light along our demise.
First to a pleasure in seeing his eyes. Maria Beethoven, Maria Beethoven, meet the Beethoven, Ludwig.
Forced to train endlessly.
You are as cruel as you are drunk. I will not let you to force him to train all night.
When I was his age, my father would force me to sleep to stop. Louis, do not stop playing till your hands are stiff. I shall be the judge of what he does with his time.
Johann, I plead. Let our son rest for a little while longer.
No! I am his father. Do as you are told. Stay on your stool. And those senseless tears. He can save that for you.
It's okay, Louis. No need to cry. It's in your eyes I see the light, my precious child, my gift from God. A gift from God is what you hold inside. You'll be the one to make me proud. I wish to hold you tight, so safe and sound. But for now, you must go train. Go on, my love.
Maria Beethoven.
My husband's mind, if you have the time. See the facade of a spawning cod. He holds a grip tight, intertwined with delight. The stereotype of a self-righteous might in a man. His morals are slight, but his presence is grand.
Johann Beethoven. Johann Beethoven. Johann Beethoven. Johann Beethoven. You may ask why we're telling this story. All of the history seems to be wrong. At least it could be. No one seems to know the real Ludwig Beethoven. His mom was a Moor, his father a German. He was born different, a Schwartz, black. It begs the question, why was this hidden? What was the reason? That is why this must be a story of truth. The tragedy rests in the music. Ludwig Beethoven.
The scene transitions into a makeshift concert that Johann has set up to showcase Ludwig. The ensemble turns into an onstage audience. Song 1A, Witness Destiny.
Let this be a moment for you to witness the greatness of my family's name. It is with great pleasure and such esteem that I share my cherished gift with the world. My boy, Ludwig Beethoven.
Ludwig dispassionately begins to play Sonata number 13, A-flat major. After a few measures of playing, he stops and abruptly brushes the sheet music off the stand. The audience gasps as Ludwig begins to passionately play an improvised piece. Ludwig finishes the piece, and the onstage audience applauds. Ludwig stands and takes a bow as Johann rushes to Ludwig's side.
Notes that simply fly off the page. I saw all of you extremely engaged. My esteemed son loves impromptu. Ah, yes, wouldn't you? What you see before you is greatness. But to achieve excellence, one must stress the fundamentals. So, now we must bid you farewell until we have trained even more vigorously.
The audience on stage staggeredly begins to leave. Maria comes to Ludwig's side as well.
A wonderful song, Louis.
I do not find your arrogance charming, boy. It's hard enough to be taken seriously with a son that looks like you. Swarthy, ugly, and arrogant is what you are. And tonight, you will surely learn a lesson.
Wow.
Johann, tell us the secret to Ludwig's aptitude.
His melodies flow like a rippling stream.
I see success. Oh, what a dream.
Ah, stay calm, my faithful clairvoyants. There is great work yet to be done. Hold your amazement. We have only just begun.
The crowd swarms around Johann in a circular motion, leaving Maria and Ludwig out of the celebration. With disgust, Maria watches her narcissistic husband bask in the praise. Johann points to Ludwig and says,
As I always say to my beloved son, you'll fulfill a destiny. With your hands, you will play our praises. You'll bring honor to me. In truth, I see in you the faces of those who came before you. And though they'll never get the chance to see your glory, the deserved amazement, I'm sure that they will share my sentiments. You will fulfill a destiny. You will bring honor to me.
Johann walks towards Maria as the crowd clears. When the citizens pass him, he hears,
By God, he is the definition of a prodigy. Do you suppose the gift came from his grandfather, Kapellmeister Beethoven? After all, he is named after him.
He surely does not get it from Johann.
Agreed. The liquor stores will undoubtedly suffer a loss when he's gone.
Johann hears this as we watch all of the joy in his body sink into despair. He walks towards Maria, but she walks off in disgust, leaving Johann.
Here I stand, a glimpse of hope in sight. The crowd does see my son with grand delight. For through Ludwig rest my truest chance at fame. But Maria, if only she could see I am not the monster I am made out to be. On the surface you may think of judgments. What makes this man who stands before you? Well, every piece of art is complex. It's fraught with insinuations running deep in the soul. Shame, guilt, loss, fear, failure. Perhaps we choose our own comeuppance, as if we know our future better than God.
Johann pulls out a drinking pouch. He takes an excessive swig. Blackout. Scene 3. Off to Vienna. Enter the Beethoven household. Ludwig storms into his room. Maria follows. Still angry about what his father said to him, he begins packing his things.
I am hesitant to stop you.
Hesitant? Well, then perhaps you should not.
I do not wish to be without my son.
Mother,
I do not want to be without my son. Yet I can no longer bear to let my son suffer like this in this terrible way.
I must go.
Where will you go?
Vienna.
Just as I have always dreamt for you.
I know it's far from here, far from you. There must be more than this. Do not mistake me. I love you, but something is calling me there. I feel it.
Thank you. Louis, I know your heart. What you have inside of you is too much for Bonn.
Too much or too different? I don't have much. I have two things to my name, you and my music. I can't imagine leaving either of them behind. The truth is, what I have inside of me shines because of you.
Then it will shine wherever you are. I'm always with you.
Johann, inebriated, enters, breaking up the moment.
Do my eyes deceive me? Does our golden boy seem to be taking leave?
Golden boy? No. This swarthy, arrogant man is taking leave to the music capital of the world.
Man, you are not yet ready for the trials and tribulations of the world. But you think that you can just pack a bag and leave all of your responsibilities here in Bonn? Those are the actions of a boy, not a man.
You're the one to speak of honor and responsibility.
Oh, always to our son's defense, and never mind. Ludwig, think about all that we can accomplish here. Think of your family, your admirers. Think about your grandfather and what he built in order for you to succeed here. I think about me.
Surely you think about yourself enough for the family that you speak of. Do not forget that I am the woman who bore this child. I am the woman that bore your children, 3 of which are gone. He is our gift from God. He is the Lord's creation, not yours.
Schweigen.
This disrespect you show this family, especially mother, is the exact reason why we want to escape you.
Oh, I see. Oh, so it's the 2 of you against the world, is it? Plotting and scheming your way to a so-called freedom? Well, I have something to tell you. The world that you seek outside of these hallowed walls will never bring you the gratification that you want. Freedom doesn't exist. And he is the product of what I made him to be. And you swore an oath in marriage. Maria, leave us at once.
Maria exits.
She had no intention of leaving you or Bonn. I asked her to. I wanted her to glean an ounce of hope for some sort of existence in this life.
Do you know what hope really means? Misfortune. Oh, it's titillating to the mind, but destruction to the soul. I have spent a lifetime trying to fill the void that hope has created within me. It sucks you in and day out, never once letting you up for air. Until you, my boy. Your exquisite musical ability, while radical at times, gave me a glimmer of hope. You will not take that away from me. If you step 1 foot outside of these walls, you will regret it for the rest of your life. Do you understand me? I will see to it that not another note makes it to the page, that you find yourself consumed by the black hole that I live in.
Father, there comes a time in every man's life where he must take ownership. I'm not to blame for the shame that you feel inside. I am not the one who loves to hear the sound of his own voice. You, sir, are a lonely child, screaming to be set free. You bring destruction upon all those who enter your path. Your narcissism pervades the air like a sour melody that plays on repeat. I understand that you cannot help the man that you are. I see that it is impossible for you to free yourself from the cage that binds you. It is not my duty nor my responsibility to help free you. Only you can do that for yourself. So forgive me if I don't feel remorse or sympathy. I cannot remain under your cloud of wallowing sorrow any longer. It stalemates me.
Well, then off to Vienna you go. But my word still stands. When you go to sleep at night, I hope you hear the siren of my voice ringing in your ears.
In a fit of rage, Johann exits, slamming the door. The scene stays the same. Beethoven walks over to his family's piano as we hear the opening melody of Vienna fade in. Song 2, Vienna.
just the place I long to be. I'm through fighting wars, it's time to be free. I've heard it said from time to time to find the soul of a musical rhyme. You first must take steps in a reasonable time, for fortune and fame won't give you the rhyme. The swell of the music, the notes on the page will last for centuries and keep them engaged. Vienna, so sweet, Vienna. If I pick up and go, will I forget who I am? Will I just fade away, bury my head in the sand, searching and pleading for some sort of sign? My muse wouldn't like it, we haven't the time. Forget all the words that your father has said. You're swarthy, you're ugly, you ought to have been dead. All that you do is cause grief to this family. You're the sole reason for years of calamity. Do as you're told, sit here and play, day after day after day after day. There's no other way. So I'll go there and write by candlelight, morning through day, right into night. As the notes swirl round and around in my head, I'll listen with confidence and go where they've led. They say face the music, they say turn the page, they say it's the key to better days. That the love that you feel for a musical phrase, it can't be fulfilled till you're rid of this place. Vienna, so sweet, Vienna.
Scene 4. Performance Anxiety. Weeks later, Vienna. Lights up at the Wiener Musikverein, a concert hall in Vienna, Austria, the music capital of Europe. The year is 1792. George Bridgetower, in silhouette, plays violin ferociously. Another man, Ludwig von Beethoven Jr., enters. He stands there watching George.
What an anxious melody you play.
Ignoring Ludwig, George continues to play unbothered. Ludwig is visibly anxious and nervous.
A sound this tense is surely played by anxious fingers. Are you nervous?
George stops playing. The silhouette comes up, backstage at the concert hall.
I'm warming up. Do you mind?
That is what you play to wake up your instrument?
It is merely what I play to connect with my instrument. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must finish.
George walks a few steps away for a bit more privacy and again begins to play. Beethoven stays in place, still watching George.
Exuberant.
Your presence feels as an audience of children. Are you lost?
Lost?
A stage manager enters, along with a few other musicians. Stage manager comes to George and Ludwig.
Mulatto Bridgetower, has it been you playing for the past half hour?
I arrive early to properly prepare myself for a concerto. I do wonder why you do not tell your other musicians that they cannot just stumble in right as the concert begins. And for yet another time, my name is George Bridgetower.
You, the mulatto who thinks so highly of himself, are no longer to first performance. You will go second. Your spot has been filled.
Filled?
By a newcomer, Herr von Beethoven.
I do not see this Beethoven. I suppose this newcomer is late as well.
It is me. I am here, Beethoven. Ludwig van Beethoven.
Ludwig nervously bows.
I see.
You are Ludwig van Beethoven from Bonn? I've heard about you.
You can call me Louis if you so desire.
Not what you expecting.
A mulatto and now a Schwarz. We shall see. Here at the Wiener Musikverein, perfection is an expectation. Do not bungle it up. Take your place on the stage when you're ready, Herr Beethoven.
Stage manager exits.
I assume the only ones who must exude perfection are the mulatto and the Schwartz.
With no response, George walks a few steps away and continues to warm up. Ludwig follows him.
Dost thou have any words of encouragement for my feelings of perturbation?
What is it that you don't understand about courtesy and respect, sir?
Well, respect must be earned, and we have only just met here, Bridgetower. So, if you please, what exactly is it that you do to prepare for the biggest preview of your life?
Herr Beethoven, is it? You tighten your knickers and follow your gut. These are the toughest critics around, and most of them will certainly weed you out if you so much as falter a note, original composition or not. They are musical hogs.
Words so wise. It's as if I've heard them before. Well then, good day here, Bridgetower.
Naive fool. Be still, for the music is found from within. The melody comes from the soul, not the body.
With a huge swell from the string players in the chambers, the scene transitions seamlessly to the stage of the concert hall. In the center of the stage is a grand piano. Beethoven is seen in a beamed spotlight, clutching his music and staring at the piano he's to play. Song 4, immortalized in a melody.
Be still, for the melody is found from within. For music comes from your soul, not your body.
Fall, oh, so deep in the mind. Follow the sign straight down to your soul. Find the story of how it goes. It lives in you.
A form of love you've left behind, emotions unsatisfied.
Out of control.
They live in you. They stir in you. They make you whole.
Ludwig begins to inspect the piano exactly as he did in Silhouette at the beginning of the show.
Some things you want left unsaid.
Some pages of you, better if unread, and that's all in hoping they even remember your name.
Beethoven, do not be afraid. This is the place where it can be read. This here is the place where you can express.
Vienna, so sweet. I must impress.
Ludwig bows for the concert audience and takes his seat at the piano.
Write a new song. Force a new melody. Go show them a sense of divinity, immortality. Today can live on in a melody.
Show them your truth.
Primordial melody.
As dark as it needs to be.
If there is a time, now is the time. Go start that climb that can last forever.
Ludwig bows to the audience, sits at the piano, and passionately strikes the chord that he played at the beginning of the show. This should be very specific. George, with his violin, appears off to the side.
The melody is found from within. It begins where you begin. And George, that is not within thee. My replacement, this Beethoven, who is he? Is he worthy, or should I worry, or is he like me? Fallen feathers of the same wing.
George
Bird
turns
so
and
rare.
watches Ludwig play.
Vienna, in the flesh, so sweet. I must impress.
Go right ahead.
Ludwig plays the most passionately that we've seen him play. He goes into the zone.
Now, year after year, your sentiment, it will live on. Live on in the song.
Fine. So he plays well.
Wait, it can go on.
Ludwig plays a beautiful melody from the fifth.
My God, he's not even done.
Oh, so divine.
Lose your sense of time.
Ludwig pauses. He plays an augmented melody, apparently ending the piece.
Oh, so he is done.
He stands and takes a second to bow, almost as if he's unsure of what to do after playing how he just did. The concert audience staggeredly claps, but it is surely not a standing ovation. George motions Ludwig off the stage. Ludwig goes to him. They talk as the scene around them changes. Scene 5, Inhibitors.
Is that how you end a masterpiece? Where is your sportsmanship?
Sportsmanship? I don't understand. I was only doing what you said, Bridge Tower.
Ah, and what is it that I said? Your interest then versus now. I promise it does not reflect, and by the way, please call me George.
George Bridgetower. Well, George, what you said wasn't said to me. You were whispering unto yourself. Compose yourself. Be in and of yourself. Be still in all you've become. It's a genius way of going about it.
And it is?
A song, a melody, creating a sound so heavenly, it gains its own immortality.
A man of musical philosophy, a bit nonsensical.
I've only played one concert here, and I've realized that sense may not be as necessary. You can see the grass moving and not exactly see what's moving it, but you feel it. The wind. Music is of the same notion.
Beethoven, I love the way you say things. Welcome to Vienna, my friend.
You may call me Ludwig or Louis.
No. Beethoven. A memorable name, someday immortal. You have brilliance within you. But you'll need my help navigating.
Oh, I do? What do you presume needs navigating?
Well, for starters, your confidence. The display you showed us all this evening tells me that you don't believe you have what it takes.
You aren't wrong about that. It is not so much that I don't have what it takes. Music is all I've ever known. I can do things that most can't, but I was never allowed to express my soul in my music.
Because then you're creating something that no one else can possess. It breeds jealousy, especially hatred, as you know. When I'm finished, all that you will know is your soul. But first, we must get acclimated with one another. Shall we start off toasting new beginnings?
George walks over to the bar cart, where he picks up a whiskey decanter and 2 glasses. He pours a glass for each of them, handing the glass to Beethoven.
Where did you say you were from again?
Looking at glass, he hesitates to drink.
I was born and raised in Bonn, where my grandfather, Beethoven Sr., settled after joining the choir of Cologne, later becoming Kapellmeister.
I see. So music clearly has been in your family for decades.
One could say that, yes.
He takes a drink and almost spits it back up.
What about you, Bridgetower? Where are you from?
Biola, Poland. My father is a prince in the West Indies and my mother, Maria, is German descent. Most of our early years were spent in England.
Well, I'm no prince, but it does seem like we have more than just one thing in common, George.
How so?
I too have a mother named Maria.
It is destined then. The world works in mysterious ways. Have you studied under anyone?
I cannot say that I have. I would say my father taught me, but my skill quickly outgrew his.
Some men cannot be taught, only spiritually guided.
He raises a toast to Beethoven. They both toss back the remainder of whiskey in their glasses.
Not much of a drinker?
Not exactly. But I
Referring
have
to the spirit.
Well, enough of it then. You're going to need to learn a thing or two about how things work around here. I couldn't bear it if you fell on flat on your face.
He grabs his violin.
Are you coming?
Ludwig seems shocked by the task at hand, but George is unfazed by his reluctance. Scene shifts back to the now empty concert hall.
Here in the east, in Austria's capital, you'll find yourself a world that's conveniently theatrical. Intellects arrive from near and far, trying hard to make it some, even raise the bar. It seems overwhelming, and that's to say the least, most especially for you and me, the critics love to feast. But Beethoven, my new friend, you mustn't be the one who's served on a plate when all is said and done. Just stick with me, I'll show the way of how to live the day-to-day. Now, where shall we start?
Well, what is on your heart?
More so on my mind. What do you know of a good time?
All I know is music's inevitably ingrained. I never spout with humans, they're practically insane.
People?
A good time though for me would be a duel with a musician. Do I have any open takers to come claim the first position?
You claim you don't like humans, but that is what you are. You sure you wanna step to me? You won't get very far. I've worked for years to claim my role, my place in history books. For I'm the heir of royalty. People give me looks.
I just flip a coin and choose a side. The loser must go first. I will play my rightful keys. You should just rehearse.
Ah, rehearse you say for another day. Let this be impromptu. We shall see what you are made of. Think fast. Surely you will lose.
What is happening? Is this something real? I've never had a friend before, just music at my heels. Is Bridge Tower playing me? Maybe he's sincere. Overwhelming at the least, but I guess I'll have to deal. Bravo, good Bridge Tower. Beyond my expectation. Now step aside, it's time to ride the keys into perfection. Elation pure divine with emotive animation. Take seat right there and beware your worthy competition.
Stopped playing? Why? Don't ever stop playing. Keep going. Let it come from your soul. Again. Attaboy, Ludwig. External competition, forcing down the inhibitions. But Ludwig thinks a cordial game will only stand to help proclaim the power of his gift. He has surely been adrift. He needs someone like me to see his light. Self-deprecation ends tonight. Once more, my friend. In this moment, this energy so rare, this transcendent moment is electric in the air. Oh no, so flying high, years to come, none will compare. 'Twas a gift heaven sent, but all great moments must come to an end. An end, no, an end, an end. A resolution played over again. The end, the end.
We transition to later that evening. Ludwig is inebriated. Scene 6 in the clouds. Song 6 in a dream. The scene transitions to the front door of Ludwig's living quarters. A vignette is established as we watch an inebriated Beethoven attempt to open the door. Simultaneously, we hear the orchestra play In a Dream. After the first notes are played, Beethoven finally gets his door open. He sluggishly walks to his chaise lounge and lays down. As the audience watches the tiresome Beethoven, we see the lights begin to glow up on a scene back in Bonn, simulating a dream that Beethoven is currently having. Maria is tucked into bed. She is not well. Johann storms in inebriated and attempts to take care of Maria. He sits on a chair parallel to the bed and passes out drunk. His bottle drops to the floor, and it causes Ludwig, at home in Vienna, to rustle in his sleep. We watch as Beethoven rises from the chaise, as if he is in the dream with his parents. He walks through the light that separates the two worlds, making his way to the bedside of his mother. He ever so delicately lifts her hand and helps her out of bed. We watch as a mother and son dance ever so gracefully. Not a word is uttered for several minutes. He then carries her back to bed and properly tucks her in, planting a kiss on her forehead. He returns to his world, turning back for one final glimpse. The world of Bonn fades as the music fades, and we are back in real time. Scene 7. Things aren't that bad. The scene transitions to Ludwig's living quarters. About a month has passed. George has acquainted Beethoven with the town, celebrating their joy of friendship by drinking. It's late in the morning, and Beethoven is nursing a hangover from yet another night out with George. He wakes from his chaise lounge to a knock at the door. Begrudgingly, he walks to answer the door. It's George.
Beethoven! My, oh my. A month since your first drink and you still can't handle a night out on the town.
What do you need at this ungodly hour?
Ungodly? It's midday. I've come for you. You will be joining me for Vienna's courtship ball at the Half Bowl House.
George, I have told you time and time again that I have no interest in coordinated anything. It's nonsensical.
Come now. Love is in the air. How else do you expect to catch the scent?
When I arrived home last night, there were people walking by using the name Schwartz Spanier House.
House of the Black Spaniard. It's what they're calling your home.
You knew.
I know everything.
Well, excuse me if I had no intention on catching this city's true scent, or any scent for that matter. This is a horrendous headache.
Look on the bright side. Although we cannot change the color of our skin, we possess the freedom that not many who share this color can dream of. Nevertheless, it seems unhealthy that I'm the only chap you've acquainted with in this godforsaken town. So I say to you, Schwartz Beethoven, you don't have a choice in the matter. We are going.
Your determination is lovely until it isn't. Suppose we went. What would I wear? Because I can assure you I haven't got it. I could go as I am.
That would be a sin. You shall come with me to the drape shop just down the alley to Stephen Splat Square. I know some people there.
For a single moment, I forgot that you know everything.
You must never forget it.
I'll indulge you in this fearless game, though I lack the care.
The scene changes as the men exit Beethoven's living quarters. The men enter the drape shop. We see an older woman of wider stature working around the shop. She is accompanied by her husband, a lean, frail-looking man who is too old for his years. In the back corner, a young girl, Meg, is fluffing some gowns for the evening's event.
Good day, gentlemen. What is it I can assist you with?
George motions Ludwig to answer.
I am in need of attire for this evening's courtship ball. I was told that your drape shop has some of the finest fashions.
That does indeed, sir.
Meg is correct. We are well equipped for all of your needs. Your emerald eyes tell me much about you. Shall we start there? Green will suit you nicely and will surely catch the eyes of a lovely good wife.
Yes, green is absolutely splendid. Do shower him with all of your finest that you do have.
What's your name, sir?
Ludwig van Beethoven.
Servus. I am George Bridgetower.
We all know who you are, George.
Nice to meet you, Beethoven. No, now make haste. The ball is we don't have much time.
We hear the orchestra begin to play as we see the drape shop owners spring into action with Meg's help. It's a dance with the rhythms and melodies joining the number, overwhelming Ludwig during his makeover. This is a lighthearted, funny moment with Beethoven at the core of it, jaded as can be. This is a complete makeover. George sits with his legs crossed, relishing in this moment. The music suddenly softens as Beethoven is revealed wearing an emerald green period outfit with a yellow vest, white stockings, and hunter green suede shoes. We watch as he sees his new self for the first time.
Well, Beethoven, what do you think?
Beethoven walks towards a glass mirror. George accompanies him, standing behind over his right shoulder. Beethoven just stares.
You look ravishing.
I can't believe I I've never been shown such kindness in this way before.
My dear, there is not a person in this world who shouldn't experience the emotions that you're feeling at this very moment. Your eyes tell your story. Green, restoration, renewal.
Ludwig smiles.
Surely tonight will go very well for you, Herr Beethoven.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Many thanks to you all. As always, your services are impeccable.
Ich bin Ihnen sehr dankbar. Good day.
Ludwig and George exit. We remain a little while longer in the shop. Meg's mother and father unveil her gown for the ball.
Meg, my darling, it is time.
She takes off the fabric that is covering Meg's ball gown.
Oh, Mother, it is beautiful.
Perfectly ideal for a beautiful girl.
Father, that's beautiful lady to you. Oh, I cannot wait to show Abigail. She was going to be astonished.
Where is Abigail anyway? Aren't the two of you supposed to be dressing for this evening together?
Yes, she has to escape her mother's grasp first.
I see.
We hear the door opening. Abigail bursts into the shop, late as always.
Forgive me, Meg. My mother was holding me captive. I finally escaped. Oh, Meg, your gown is so beautiful.
That's exactly what I said. Shall we unveil yours?
Of course.
Please.
Meg and Abigail take the covering off her gown. Abigail's gown is very specific. We should see nuances of emerald green throughout her gown, hinting at something.
It's woven so well. The detail is mesmerizing.
I helped Mother with it. I knew you would like it.
Oh, Meg. These look so beautiful on us. Pink is the perfect color for you.
Thanks, Abby. We must spruce up if we are to look amazing. After all, our only job is to look pretty, find a husband, oh, and blend in.
Meg, why do we do it?
What do you mean?
Why do we go through all this effort to please men? Sure, we enjoy getting dressed up and looking beautiful, but I just feel like it should be for ourselves, not for anyone else.
I guess it's because that's what we are taught to do.
Precisely. Should be. I found myself dreaming of a special one made just for me. I'd act out the moment when he'd take my hand. I was it pretty and grand. But now that it's time and I'm grown in age, I can't help but feeling locked down in a cage with no choice in choosing. It feels like I'm losing. Who needs love? Who needs it? My simple dreams have complex schemes, but they're not as convoluted as they seem. I know I pray I'll find my way here on my own is how I'll stay. My simple dreams have complex schemes, but they're not as convoluted as they seem. I know I pray I'll find my way here on my own. As I got older, I would dream a new perfect life made just by me, where I could travel far and wide, learn new cultures or just say hi, walk along the river Seine, perform on a stage in a Shakespeare play, be the first woman with equal pay. Oh, who needs love? Who needs it? Who needs it? It seems so easy when you're not tied down, but that to dream there are no bounds. The truth be told, those dreams are bold. They all cease to exist. My only source of reference woman's role has no control, no voice of any worth. If I should love, it'd have to be on my own terms. Need not a man to show me how a fire can burn. Cause my simple dreams have complex schemes, but they're not as convoluted as they seem. I know I pray I'll find my way. Here on my own is how I'll stay. My simple dreams have complex schemes, but they're not as convoluted as they seem. I know I pray I'll find my way here on my own. Chance I catch a glance, I surely wouldn't dote. If he sees the heart in me, I'll kindle a bond and take the world by storm. We'll take the world by storm. We'll take the world by storm when love answers the call. If and when love wants to answer.
Scene 8, the ball. Scene shift to the Hofballhaus Hall. Parties from all over the eastern region gather for a courtship ball. Upon arriving, we see our rhythms and melodies dressed as guests. Our principals arrive together. George and Beethoven remain on the outskirts of the hall, as do Meg and Abigail.
Day turns to night here in Vienna. A dazzling display begins to unfold. A courting story will soon be told out of the ordinary where fate gains hold, but what of the third and the fourth that we see? Will their stories collide? Or forfeit to be? Ravishing gowns fit for a queen with regal lapels staunch like a king's. Rotations commence as suitors make bets on a lifelong vow. With the prettiest get, I'm the courtship master. I prevent disaster as egos run wild, at times like a child. So come with us. Enjoy the ride as our protagonist finds his light.
A song begins to play, which brings the courtship ball to a start. The company dances. It should feel rigid and traditional. Our principals find themselves in the mix. The rotation through dance forms an introduction of Abigail and Beethoven, as well as Meg and Beethoven. Scene 9, Leave It Behind. Enter Ludwig's quarters. The following day, a knock. Ludwig appears, slowly making his way towards the door.
George, when is a man to rest with your obnoxious knocking all hours of the day?
Ludwig opens the door. It is not George. Good morning to you. 2 letters, one marked urgent from a Johann Beethoven.
Yes, very well. It is Beethoven.
The courier exits. Ludwig examines the letter from Johann. Without reading, he throws it. He examines the other. It's from Mozart.
Ludwig Beethoven. Exceptional. I heard you playing at the Wiener Concert Hall. I was only there to tend to business, but once I heard you playing, I decided to take pleasure in hearing your skill, your passion. I do wish to work with you in due time, young man, and I will continue to see you play. The world must make a mark of you. Surely your name will be made in the world. Warmly, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart.
An aghast Ludwig takes a breath of excitement. A dream has just come true. He sees the letter from Johann. In his excitement, he picks it up. Still reluctant, he opens and reads it.
I'm writing with some grave news. Your mother has passed on. Mother.
Scene 10. We transition to Meg's home above the drape shop. The girls are exhausted from the night before at the ball, fueled by the surrealness of the evening, they debrief.
Tell me everything about Beethoven. I saw you walk out of the ball together.
Meg, you are quite the observer.
Abby, you know that I see and hear everything. I like to think of it as a gift.
I'm not quite sure what my thoughts are. The moment we joined hands on the floor it was as if everyone disappeared, and we were the only two in the hall. You know, like when time stops in your dreams?
Oh, that happens to me all the time. I know what that's like.
I felt as if I had known the man a lifetime. His eyes were crystal clear, but there was kind of a hollowness to them. Piercing, really.
There's so much more to him.
Yes. But how do you know?
I danced with him too.
Yes, forgive me. I hope to see him again. If the fates allow, I suppose.
I believe the fates will. Imagine if you were to write a piece meant for only you. What a dream that would be.
I think he should have a better source of material to draw inspiration from, dear Meg. Besides, one brief encounter does not mean anything.
Abby, you are smitten with him.
I am not. Am I?
I wish that one day I might feel the way that you do right now.
Someone will find you and sweep you off your feet. Besides, you're still too young to be thinking about any male suitors.
I'm not a child, Abby. I practically run the shop. I am a proper lady and I can fend for myself.
Well, you are certainly not a child then. Until tomorrow, dear one, I must make haste before my mother storms the square looking for me.
Abby, wait. Before you go, can I ask you something?
Of course.
Do you think I'm beautiful?
I do not think you're beautiful. I know you are beautiful. You must have confidence in yourself, Meg.
Meg ponders. Abigail looks back at her and winks. She exits through the shop door.
It's nice to know that someone thinks I'm beautiful. Although I did prep her for that answer. What was she going to say? You're ugly? Have confidence. Give yourself a compliment. What is beauty anyway? It seems overly important these days. Love should be an honest connection between two people. It should not be about looks. At the ball, I felt that with Beethoven. So if the connection was there, why didn't he choose me? Just imagine if he did.
At the start of the song, Meg is trying to understand herself. As she gets going, she gets lost in the imaginative world that she has created in the drape shop. The place where she feels the most understood. This song is playful. Over the years, Meg has made friends out of all that surrounds her in the drape shop. Song 8, Only You.
Beauty is confidence with all the imperfections. Beauty is a work of art that begins from adolescence. For when life starts and we grow hearts, we then begin to know that beauty is the one thing for that which makes us whole. Beauty is a melody with ever-changing harmonies, with complex strings and cadence swings. It makes me want to sing. It fills your soul and blocks the holes that fester deep inside. To only see the direful, to stumble and hide. Only you hold the heart that's for my longing. Oh, directly through the lines. Only you can make me feel like I'm in heaven, soaring high through clouds and sunny skies of blue. If I had one wish, it would be to wrap my arms around you, squeeze so tight, your eyes would only focus me. But what if then my grip gives wind and you dismiss me? What a fool I'd be, so frightened he would share our secret for all to see. Or Abigail. Beauty is confidence with all the imperfections. Beauty is a work of art that begins from adolescence. For when life starts and we grow hearts, we then begin to know that beauty is the one thing for that which makes us whole. That beauty is the one thing for that which makes me whole. Oh, Beethoven.
Scene 11. Time seems to stop. Transition to Maria's grave. Song 9, Life Song. Several weeks later, we find ourselves back with our protagonist. He has arrived in Bonn to find his mother has already been buried in the ground. Did the letter arrive late, or was it purposely delayed by someone? Ludwig, cold and still, stands at his mother's grave. Johann appears. He stands next to Ludwig.
1777, the year without our Lord.
Days get longer, years feel short. Dream about life and all it's worth. Are we moving down a road to somewhere? It must lead to somewhere. Why not for us? I think it's only fair.
Be sensical, boy.
Sensical. Where is the sense in all this? His mind is adrift. He's become remiss. To deserve a son, his last word, to the only true figure to see his worth, reads an endless battle, an infectious saga. And it's only just begun. Look at the monster who thinks that he's won. Pride in his eyes, like he's better than I. He is. For if I were him, I'd rather die than be alive with guilt sitting in the back of my mind.
You are going to regret leaving. You should have known. An abyss.
Weeks have passed since Beethoven's return to Bonn. Things are looking more grim between Johann and his son. Johann has turned a corner for the worse and is drinking more than ever. The town is fed up with him, as is Beethoven.
Time moves on, with or without your life. Your sky does the same thing it does every day. By and by, you'll recall where it all began. The fall to nowhere or the walk to somewhere. Who knows? Who knows? You do.
A worse to take care of his father.
We speak, but not much. My touch is all but fond. Such a love is all but gone. All that's left is grudge.
Beethoven exits his home and notices.
Wait!
Johann is being taken off the streets by a police officer.
Do you know this man? I found him indecent, his mind weakened.
This man is my father. His name is Johann.
Wait, this man is your father? Should I believe it? I'm afraid I don't see it.
I tell you the truth. I can pay you off. His actions are new. He's a fine man, I assure you. Here is for your troubles.
Ludwig offers the officer money, a bribe. He takes it.
The troubles go with you then. You better take care. Next time won't be as fair.
The officer hands Johann off to Ludwig and leaves.
Thank you. Your care is...
Enough! My care is askew. The third time this week I've had to rescue you. Weaker by the day, you must face the truth. You'll die in this phase. You nonsensical you.
After months of repetitive routine, Johann is extremely ill. He is alone in bed. The glow of one candle illuminates on his face. For the first time in the story, we see a vulnerable and reflective father nearing the end of his life.
I've always seen myself in him. But now especially. On certain days, we share a gaze. His glow is dim. Day after day, year after year. We share a notion. I'm growing tired in my bones. I've grown weary in my soul. I know the truth. Life's got the best of me. Someday you will see.
The rhythms and melodies ethereally carry Johann away.
Maria? Maria, I'm done being tired in my bones. Through with the weariness in my soul. I have no more youth, Maria. Life got the best of me. As for Ludwig, we shall see.
The rhythms and melodies ethereally carry Johann away.
You had the chance long ago to share your sorrow, your woes. But now, as the Reaper appears, you make the choice to share your fears? It's laughable. Cowardly. Expected forgiveness is what he seeks. What do you think?
1791. Johann is gone. Time moved on in the flash of an instant. Where there remains grief, hides in the dark persistence.
Cutting through water, searching for a spark, Ludwig remained locked with his heart.
Ludwig opens a letter that has been sitting on his piano for days.
Beethoven, you were here and then gone. I'm sure life has moved on for you. It certainly has for us. Abigail has been asking when you might return. With no answer from you, I haven't the words for her. What I do know is that wherever you are, whatever you are going through, deserves to be shared. You have a friend in me and people that care. There are some grave news that I must share with you. It is also exciting in nature. A place has opened up for your musical forte. Mozart has passed on. I know he inspired you for a time, but let this be your moment to climb. Your royal friend, George.
If I pick up and go, will I forget who I am? Can I just fade away?
Letters kept flowing as day turned to night. Ludwig remained locked from the light.
Another year goes by as he struggles to cope. Until one final day, he opens the blinds, a shimmer of hope. Impassioning the soul, he plays a single note.
Scene 12. Back to Vienna. Scene transitions back to Vienna. 5 years has passed as Beethoven looks worn and tired. He is back to wearing the less finer things in life, as his appearance means nothing to him. We find ourselves outside the home of Abigail. George is encouraging Beethoven to knock on the door. A hesitant Beethoven paces back and forth.
A heart attack.
A heart attack?
That is what you are going to give yourself if you pace here for yet another half an hour.
It doesn't seem that simple from my perspective. 5 years. What can one possibly say?
Say what's on your heart. It's at least a start.
Beethoven turns and walks to the door. He attempts to knock. Suddenly, the motion is interrupted by Abigail, who swings the door open.
Hello. Were you just gonna stand here all day?
Hello?
Yes! All day.
Well, the door's open. Not you, George.
Yes, of course.
Beethoven enters. They sit on an old chaise lounge in the living room. It's as if they are two awkward teenagers, neither wanting to say the first word.
Abigail, I don't even know where...
You needn't explain yourself to me right now.
If I may, even though time has passed, I want you to know that I never stopped thinking about you.
I know. You're here, aren't you?
That I am.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
May I?
You are the master of the keys, by all means.
Beethoven walks over to the piano. He plays the single note that sparked his return to Vienna.
This piano is badly in need of tuning. Do you play?
Not like I should. Of course, a proper lady should be proficient in all things. But between you and I...
Well, tuned or not.
Ludwig plays an early version of Für Elisa.
Do words frighten you, Ludwig?
He stops for a moment.
Our second moment together and you're already bossing me around?
I wanted to express exactly how happy I felt being near you again.
A man of few words.
If it were up to me, the world wouldn't need words. Music, the great communicator.
Abigail kisses Ludwig, forcing him to stop playing. Ludwig turns in.
My mother believed in the notion of a muse, that there was an ethereal sound moving like the wind in my head. A cosmic dance, she'd say. What I've noticed is that what I create seems beyond the world's understanding.
As long as there are people who see and hear the world like you do, we will never run out of music. Your mother meant a lot to you, didn't she?
Everything.
And your father?
He,
It's okay. Later. You love music. I love colors. A color can say 1,000 words. For instance, green is your color. Do you know what it means?
I do not.
Green is tranquil. It's of the earth.
I'm tranquil.
Well, we only just met, but it's what my heart is telling me.
How poetic. What about the color yellow?
Yellow. Where did yellow come from?
It's the gown you wore to the ball. It was yellow with hints of green. It was mesmerizing.
Yellow. Optimism, enlightenment, honor, loyalty, intellect.
They both happen to be wearing their respective colors, green and yellow, drawn to each other like the color spectrum of a rainbow. Abigail's mother walks in. She has no idea that someone is in the house.
Abigail, would you mind helping me with supper? Your father... Oh. Who is this?
This is my
Ludwig von Beethoven. I'm Abigail's
friend.
I see. Surely your friend knows that it isn't appropriate for a lady to be unaccompanied in the presence of a man.
Forgive me, madam. I have just arrived back in Vienna after a time, and I just...
Wonderful news. Sorry to cut this reunion short, but we must get supper ready.
Of course. It was a pleasure to meet you. Tranquil.
Intellect.
Ludwig exits.
How thoughtless. You know it is improper to be gallivanting with people in this house outside of our inner circle.
Mother, I was only rekindling a friendship from a few...
Enough! You wouldn't possibly understand. This moment you seek is nothing but a fall into a dark side of devastation.
How does interacting with a like-minded person warrant devastation?
Devastation breeds resentment. It relinquishes your control. It negates your worth.
Mother, he is like us in mind, spirit, and appearance.
No, he isn't like us. Your father and I have set ourselves on a path of righteousness, fueled with dignity. A Schwartz in this house means we relinquish all control. Society has gifted us a place. We must walk the straight and narrow path in order to remain in that position.
It has always been my understanding that any person who understands us understands me.
My dear child, you deserve better. You deserve a person who will provide everything you could ever imagine. You deserve a foundation that is the quintessence of what we have given you.
You're wrong. There is no quintessential path for anyone. Not me, not you. What society has given us, we must work to understand. Your assumption of this man, sitting in our living room playing our piano, is entirely wrong. It's a glance, a judgment in time, something that I refuse to see or believe.
You live under this roof. You feed from your father's hand. You have no place in telling me what this is. It's a source of visceral life that we will never bring you the comfort and the happiness you deserve. A Schwartz like that is a vile representation of who we are.
How right you might be given your circumstances. Mother, a person is a person. Our skin is the same. Sure, it may vary in tone, but the earth that we walk on doesn't vary. No matter how we try to change our existence, it will always be black and white. I stand before you and I believe that you do not know the way the wind is blowing in this world.
The entitlement. We will discuss this later. Your father will be home soon. Supper.
The next day. Scene 13. Confusion. Lights up on Beethoven's quarters. We watch as Beethoven sits down to play. Placing his hands on the key, he strikes a chord. It doesn't sound the same as it has. He tries to clear his ears and plays again. Confused, he stands and leans over the piano. Still not the same. All of a sudden, he hears a muffled thumping. He immediately registers that someone is at the door. He walks over to answer.
Abigail, please, come in.
Thank you. So, this is how the other half lives?
Yes, this is home. It's not much, but all I need is right here.
Where do you sleep?
Like I said, it's not much.
I wanted to apologize for my mother yesterday. She means well.
It's okay. I understand how it might have looked a certain way to her.
Overprotective is the only way it looked to me.
Parents can do that sometimes, can't they?
I suppose so. What do you suppose is the purpose of our meeting like this?
To follow an impulse that seems to be fueled by kinetic energy.
Beethoven. What does that mean? In simple terms.
I don't think in simple terms. I think philosophically. Generalizations just get jumbled in my head.
What if I told you sometimes people require general thinking? Can you try? For me.
Song 10. All I Know.
All I know is it's for you. Another ode, it's what I do. It's not for show, and it's nothing new. This is the least that I can do. All I feel,
Look at me, let's try to feel.
Is when I win, I also lose.
Woe is me, this isn't bleeding.
As you know, sensations come and go. I see you now, for now I do. All for you, I ignore the truth. It's evident in all I do, longing for you.
Tell me the truth.
You want the truth. I dread the lost sensations, expressions, the love in your voice. Those expressions, now impressions, a reminiscence of our joy. Take no offense, I see your face, I feel your touch. If this is love, is it enough? I don't know. All I know is move any and every way that the wind blows you. That's all I know. That's all I've known.
expressions make a move. Depressive mode, they must be smooth. As winding roads must have their grooves. Is this my life? Is this my truth? This is blue.
I need to know.
I need to go.
That the love is placed is true.
Standing right in front of you.
Traverse my soul and find myself anew in anxious flow, a playful go of the road that's life, and yes, I do admit this is the road I've never known. This trail of stones, this lonely and winding road that I now realize it's where I've grown. Yes, this is all I'll know. All I know is moving in every way that the wind blows you. That's all I've ever known.
My sweetest child, I'm here with you now and always. So heed my voice as you play. Release your pride, stay by her side. Carry the love in stride, and you will be fine.
My dearest Abigail, in the days since we last spoke, my mind has gifted me with the clarity of your words. I cannot help the man I am, but I see in you exactly what I want to be. I hear your words as they call out to me in a way I have not before. Forgive me as I ask you for a chance and to not close the door. Imagine what we can create together, a family, a home filled with faith and love, tranquility and intellect. Your immortal beloved, Ludwig.
Finally, you speak to me. I hear your words with clarity. Here in this moment, I feel a gas. If only it could always last. Finally, you've seen the light, but I'm not sure if this is right. How in this instance can I be certain that this is real? 'Cause I'm unsure of how I feel. I used to dream that life was brightly beautiful. Every day was musical. The skies were gold and never gray. The grass was green and the fields were filled with marigolds. Every memory was, I had a spot where I would play. It seemed like a perfect condition for children to thrive. The innocence, the brilliance, the magic never died. You grow and you realize the world is also black and white, but somehow it's not as simple. It's intricate. Grab a hold of the things that are brightly beautiful. 'Cause when something's beautiful, the dark moves in. It's up to you to let it stay or fade away. Make the choice to keep it brightly beautiful. Turn the memories to gold and lock it away. It's so much better this way. So share the words that you're feeling deep inside. Your eyes are finally open wide.
received your letter, and I must say I was taken aback at first, but after reading it, I had a whirlwind of emotions arise to the surface. To hear you share your clarity of mind with me only made me realize a great deal about myself. It shed a light on the things that I need, and the reasons why I got your letter. I thought at first it'd make things better. I thank you for sharing your moment of clarity. It really means the world to me, but the truth is, now I'm thinking, where do I fit into this equation? How am I to find the explanation you seek for me? You see, I have always put you first, always focusing on what you need. I understand that you feel you might exceed expectation, that's a facade. You hide behind your genius, yet I see your perturbation, your secret inhalation filled by toxic masculation. We will never see a world where we can be. I need to find my key, find exactly what I need.
What exactly are you saying to me?
I will never stop loving you, Louis. Know this. The empathy and love that you show your music deserves to be shared with whomever comes into your life moving forward. I wish that freedom for you. That is what makes you bright, beautiful. Goodbye, Louis.
All right, everyone. Thank you again so much for being here. That is the end of Act 1. I'm going to say a few quick thank yous. First off, thank you to all the actors for sharing your time with us. Brilliant performances. Thank you to Joe and Jen for helping to curate the space. Thank you so much to Julian and Elijah for sharing their work. And thank you to all of you for being here. So Julian, when you're ready, let's load up that last slide so we can show everyone where they can send feedback, because we absolutely want to hear it. Go ahead and play it whenever you're ready. Thank you so much, everybody. The reading will be done after this last slide, and we'll say good night.